Good morning, friends and family. John Miller, your Lake Stevens Realtor, coming at you here on a Monday, June 22nd, 2020, as we could proceed through our coronavirus. We're in phase 2. We hope to be in phase 3 here shortly, and everything can start returning to, well, we've been a little bit more normal. Real estate market's moving very, very quickly, which is great. So, again, if you have any questions about that, give me a call. Today's question comes out of Lake Stevens, Washington, and the question is, how do I find local amenities and resources in my area when I'm looking to purchase a home? How do I find those? And how do I make that part of my criteria? And that's a really good question. The number one piece of criteria that we've seen from home buyers that is non-negotiable is school district. For all those non-negotiable criteria, the deal breakers is what we call it, is school district. Especially here in Lake Stevens, we have a very strong school district, and that is a very common thing, both with families with school-aged children and people without. I've had clients who don't have children, who will never have children, who school district is very important to them because they know that is one of the things that affects their resale. At any rate, that's obvious. The school district's obviously number one. We do have a lot of people ask about how close freeway access is. We have a lot of people that commute here in the Northwest, and that's very common. Obviously, being close to a freeway. Most people don't want to be too close, but at the same time, they don't want to be too far off the beaten path. Especially in the winter months, you get snow and ice on the road, and your commute can really get really long, especially if you live in some rural areas. Obviously, proximity to commerce, shopping, and things like that. Those local amenities. That's also very important. And then the last, what we find is most people want to know how close recreation areas are. As a friend of mine told me, here in the Northwest, there's 100 things you can do outside, and they're all free. And he's right. There's hiking, fishing, hunting. There's a lot of things that you can do if you're the outdoorsy type. Washington State is definitely the place for you. So those are all things that people look for. The resources that you can get. Most of the real estate websites out there, the good ones. JohnLScott.com is a great resource. They have a search by school feature. They do have some other pieces of criteria to find some of those amenities. That's a really good one. And then obviously any kind of web search. There's a lot of Snohomish County has a website, on all the local activities that are going on a daily and a weekly basis. And then obviously the last part is your agent. Your agent is hopefully has some experience, who've lived in the area, who knows the answer to a lot of those questions, or can get those answers to you very quickly. My wife and I have lived here in the area for 20 years at this point. We've got a pretty good handle on what's around. So if you have any questions on that, or how to integrate that into one of your searches, obviously let me know. Interest rates sitting at 3.13 on a 30-year fixed. Phenomenal rates. The Feds, I read an article last week, the Feds are going to be trying to keep that rate down for the next 2.5 years. It'll be interesting to see what happens, obviously, as we go into the election here in the next 5 months. At any rate, wherever you are, stay safe. We love you, and we'll see you next week. Bye.